Hello, how's everybody? It's been a little bit since my last recording, my last video. Welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's had a great week and a blessed week as well. And well, today I want to talk about a little bit about, you know, what happens when things do not go as planned. And I think that we all experience that in our lives, when things do not go as planned. And I think that as growing up, I had to learn a lot because even when you're young or at a young age, I always try to teach my children, if things do not go as planned, don't get disappointed. Um, just make the best of it. And I think that as adults, it's so important for us to also realize that, things don't always happen as we planned. Things happen unexpectedly, surprisingly, and like I always tell my children, you either have two choices: either you laugh or you cry. And I'd rather laugh and make the best of it, right? And I know that sometimes it's easier said than done, but I always try to teach, and I had to learn this. I had to ask the Lord to help me with this because a lot of times, way in the past, when things didn't go my way, or not even my way, or as I planned, I'm someone that I always like to plan things out. I like to plan things out ahead of time. And for example, if I have a deadline to meet, like for example, now, with work, I have reports that I have to submit by a certain deadline. I already like to have it ready, like 2 3 days before in advance, if possible. Of course, things do happen, life happens, and sometimes you might not be able to get it before the deadline, but at least by the deadline, that would be good. But I'm someone that's always ahead of the game, and I'm always thinking ahead of the game. um I'm a type of person that I can go to a place that's warm and I'm still going to take a sweater. I'm still going to take, things that you might not think you might need, but I always think better safe than sorry. So, I tell my kids, I tell my family, it doesn't matter. We just have to pack it, and it's not going to hurt us. It's not going to take anything away from us. We're just going to be ready just in case. Because that's the way life is. I think we always should be ready. And um always, we have to realize life happens. We have to be ready for, disappointments happen, things, you know and sometimes if things do not go as planned, we can get very disappointed, we can get upset, we can get angry, and all these emotions happen. And sometimes even our loved ones or the people closest to us can actually feel that friction, or that whatever it is that's bothering you. Or sometimes you may take it upon them when they have no blame. Things didn't come out the way you wanted them to. So I always say, then you know what, just go with the flow. I think it's easier for us to learn to go with the flow as opposed to going against the current. Just as if we were going down a stream, what will be easier for you to swim along as with the current where the direction it is going, or you want to swim against it? Now think about it. Think of yourself as swimming against the current, and you're seeing yourself getting to a certain point and you're swimming against the current, but you're literally not moving anywhere. And so instead of doing that, then let's just realize and say, I'm not going to get to that where I want to get to. So let me put my mindset on looking at something else that might be more reachable, more doable, more possible, and it will make my life much easier as well. And many times I think, put so many unnecessary stress on ourselves. stress that we don't need. Um, Believe it or not, little stressors eventually start to affect us physically, and we start to feel it. Um, Even getting to work late, if you're on, standing or stuck in traffic, and you need to get to a certain time to work, and you can't, that traffic doesn't seem to move on, that stress that you're putting yourself on, or you're going through, believe it or not, it becomes to affect you eventually if you continue to go through those types of stressors. It is just like a little, like they say, when there's a leak, it starts small, and then eventually what does that do? It starts to decay everything that's on the bottom. Or sometimes it even starts to decay whatever, if it's going next to the wall, it goes underneath, and everything that's around it starts to literally decay. And that's what happens with our life. Eventually, something that may be small, or you may feel that is small, if we continue to live that way without making any changes, without realizing the damage that we're doing to ourselves, it will eventually start to affect us. And stress is something that it's big. We all face stress some in some way or form. It's about work, about the responsibilities, about just life in general. But sometimes I think that there's so many stressors that we can avoid if we learn how to see life through a different perspective. So one of the biggest things, and this is why I wanted to talk about it, is because when things do not go as planned, that's when we start to stress out. This is how I planned it. It didn't work out. So now it's time to change our mindset. Okay, so things didn't come out as you planned. It didn't work out. So then instead of feeling or punishing yourself for it, or getting in arguments with the people close to you because things didn't come out right, let's just make the best of it. Let's just go with the flow. Because the reality is, by us getting upset and angry and frustrated and stressed about it, it's not going to change the fact that things didn't work out. So then what do? Let's make our life easier. Let's just go with the flow. Go with the flow. And you know what? I'm saying this to you today, but it wasn't like that for me all the time. Even now, sometimes I literally have to remember and talk to myself and say, Brenda, remember, you have to go with the flow. Because not all the time, it's not easy. It depends. And so there were times that if things didn't come out as I planned, as I hoped that they would come out, for various reasons, I would get angry, I would get in a bad mood, but I started learning, I started telling the Lord, please help me to change this part of me, because I know that you don't want me to be upset. I know you don't want me to be in a bad mood, and most definitely not create problems with my loved ones, or make them develop that tension around them, because it really wasn't their fault either. So I started praying and I said, Lord, please help me to learn to go with the flow, because I don't want to be like things, life, like I said before, and I keep on saying again, life happens. Things don't always go as we plan. But when we start learning to go with the flow, it makes such a big difference. It is like you have this peace upon you, and that peace reflects upon your home environment, upon your family. Because I think, especially if you're a woman, I don't know, but the father too, but I think a woman in your household, for example, I'm a mother of 4, of course. My husband, I think when a woman is in a bad mood, we have I don't, or how can I say, we, depending on our mood, will create or prepare that environment of the household. So if we are in a bad mood, if we are tense, if we are stressed, believe it or not, but it starts to reflect towards our children and our husband, and they start to feel that tension. So that's why I think it's so important. I like to prepare the environment when I can, because sometimes, let's be realistic, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you this is how I am all the time. No. But when I can, I like to prepare the environment. If I can put some soft music, I love instrumental music. I love classical music. One of my favorites that plays the piano is Raul de Blasio. I love to listen to him too. So whenever I can, and I love candles. Uh, Now I don't put candles that much, even though I love it and I love the scented candles, but I don't use them as much just because um, I don't want to end up putting so many fumes into the environment. So now they have these candles that they're flameless, and you just use batteries with it. But I was able to find these ones that are actually made out of wax, and you can change the light to flicker. That makes it that it looks realistic. So I put those around. I turned them on. I try to turn them on around 6 o'clock in the evening already. uh I put them on. If I can, I put some soft music, because I like to prepare the environment for my family. So if I'm happy, then they are happy. But if I'm in a bad mood, then everybody's silent, everybody's quiet, like, oh no, mom's in a bad mood, and nobody talks hardly. But you know what, that's an ugly environment. I don't like that. I want everyone to feel happy and safe, and I like to prepare their their safe haven. This is their home. I want them to feel happy. I want them to feel peaceful. So I am trying also to learn to, when things don't go as I plan, to just say, oh well, things didn't come out as planned. Um, let's try something else. So in other words, we have to learn to be flexible, right? Be use your be more how can I say, I'm trying to find that word, but I can't quite find it right now. But find different things to do. If it's something didn't work out how you planned, but there's always a different way of doing things. There's always something else that you can do instead of whatever it was that you planned. So this was just a little talk that I wanted to share with you. So just remember, go with the flow. If things don't go as planned, oh well, go with the flow, make the best of it. And I hope you have a blessed week. Remember, be whatever you feel, that will reflect upon your home, upon your family. And so just try to be happy. I'm not always happy. I have to admit, I do have my attitudes sometimes, and I'm not going to say no, because I would be lying to you if I would say that I was perfect, if I would say that I don't have problems, if I say I don't I don't have, sometimes I have an attitude, like I say, sometimes people tell me, oh, Brenda, you don't have a mean bone in your body. And I tell them, oh, you better watch out, because if you touch the wrong nerve, you'll see that bad side of me, the ugly side of me. I think we all do. We all have something like that, or, a backbone. We all have something that, don't get someone mad, because, you'll see that ugly side of them. But anyway, just wanted to share this. I don't want to take much of your time. I hope that this little short talk was a blessing to you. Remember, go with the flow. Things don't come out of this plan as planned. Well, I know we get disappointed, But remember, life happens. God wants you to be happy. He wants you to feel peace in your heart. There's always other ways to reach what you can. And remember, sometimes perhaps you plan something and um it might not be meant for you or meant for it to happen. There's always different reasons. There's always something. But all I know for sure is that there's always something better for you. So God bless. Until next time. Bye.